Hello and welcome back to Sundays with Froggy Frog 9000. I'm your host, Froggy Frog 9000. Thanks for joining me again today. It's very late on a Sunday in the Southern Hemisphere. I would say probably Sunday's just beginning in the Northern Hemisphere. In any case, here we are on a Sunday. You're looking at IL-2 1946 cinematic intro. And I'm going to play some footage from 1946. I own the game. I've owned it for ages. I've hardly ever played it. But I'm thinking of changing that. I'm thinking of getting into IL-2 1946 as a way of playing. I've had a look at the fan stuff online, and it's really very excellent. I'm trying to remember what SAS, the SAS mod or whatever it's called. It seems like any kind of aircraft that you want, particularly the Axis aircraft, have been modelled very well, is now, or has been for some time, available in 46, provided that you use those mods. I think it's the SAS mod. I've always steered clear of it on the basis that it seems too difficult, too much investment of time, and the graphics in 46 are not the cutting edge like you'll get in some cases in DCS, and completely 100% cutting edge like you'll get in IL-2. Great Battle series. Yeah. This is Hidden and Dangerous 2 Deluxe Edition. This is a blast from the past. I used to play this game so very much. I know this game like the back of my hand. I'd like to play it on the channel, but it doesn't seem compatible with modern day computers. Dagnabbit. Looking at the bridge scene there. Oh yeah, fun times. That was a really immersive game. A bit like Iron Front in Arma4 or Iron Front Liberation 1944. This is like a forerunner to that. It's not a perfect game. It has lots of problems. Very difficult to play in some ways. You've got to contend with simplistic AI and that sort of thing. But that was Hidden and Dangerous Deluxe. This is Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator World War II Europe Series. I'm holding the box now. I'm just going to read a few things off of the box. Requires Windows 95, Windows 98 or Windows NT 4.0. Does not require Microsoft Flight Simulator. The closest you can get to being a World War II fighter pilot. Go ahead. Take a victory roll. Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator is the only product that combines flight simulator realism with air combat excitement. It features the same detailed attention to airplane physics instrumentation award-winning Microsoft Flight Simulator. Choose from 8 historic fighters, including the Hawker Hurricane Mark 1, Focke-Wulf FW-190 A8, Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9, Republic P-47D Thunderbolt, Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1, Messerschmitt Bf-109E, Messerschmitt Bf-109G, North American P-51D Mustang fight against computer-controlled planes such as the Ju-87 Stuka, Heinkel 111, Junkers Ju-88 and Boeing B-17G, or wage war against human opponents via modem, LAN or internet. Back in the days when the internet was just getting started. Change the weather, take advantage of accelerated 3D graphics with direct 3D compatible cards or chips. Adjust the skill level, get up to speed quickly with 220 pages of valuable information in the manual there. Yeah, this was a great game. How can I explain it? I only got back into flight sims when I saw how good the latest IL-2 was. Up until then, I'd thought to myself, I won't get back into flight sim until they've become really, really impressive, which is what IL-2 is these days. But back then, this was the equivalent of IL-2 to me. This was the most impressive thing available in the world. And looking at the system requirements, multimedia PC, Pentium 133 or faster microprocessor, Microsoft Windows 95, 98, 16 megabytes of RAM for Windows 95, Windows 98, 32 megabytes of RAM, 200 megabytes of hard disk space, 230 megabytes recommended, 30 megabytes of available hard disk space for swap file, CD-ROM, quad speed recommended, Super VGA 256 color monitor, 16-bit color monitor recommended, a mouse, direct sound 6.0 sound card, optional 3D graphics accelerator, requirements for multiplayer 28.8 kilobytes per second modem or faster. So that's Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator. Here we are looking at IL-2 1946. I'm flying, hopefully that's not too loud, I'm flying a Focke-Wulf TA-183. And this is why I'm thinking of getting back into IL-2 1946, is because I've been salivating at the prospect of the release of Bodenplatte in due course. I don't know when, I guess maybe even 2019. And thinking about flying the ME262 in Bodenplatte and how exciting it's going to be. And this edition of Sunday Frog Radio is pretty much all about Bodenplatte, even though I haven't mentioned it thus far. But look at that, there's a similar plane to it as well called the Messerschmitt ME1101. Similar kind of class of small jet fighter that was in prototype stage in 1945 when World War II ended. This is the TA-183. It's carrying there some anti-maritime kind of guided missiles, guided by a wire that trails back to the aircraft. Pretty high-tech stuff for the mid-1940s. There, of course, is the Boeing B-17G, and got a cinematic here that runs for about another 3 or 4 minutes, so let's have a watch of that. And I'll just talk about a few things that I want to talk about. DCS. DCS is releasing the F-18C. So that's a development in DCS. The F-18 is being released. It exists there in DCS already as an AI, and now it's being released as a playable aircraft. I think it's going to cost, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's going to cost $70 for the F-18. So if you want to fly a highly detailed F-18C, you can pre-order that and you can grab it when it comes out. I think it'll be out pretty soon, probably in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the answer for everything, but I genuinely think it'll be out in about 2 weeks. Will I get it? Probably not. I'd much rather fly the TA-183, to be honest. Which leads me to my next point. I've looked at the jets on DCS, and I'm thinking of getting a jet on DCS. If you guys have a suggestion for what jet, if any, you would like to see me fly, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. I'm thinking of getting maybe a MiG-15 or a Sabre, F-86 Sabre, or a MiG-23 or a MiG-21. I'm sort of leaning towards the Sabre at this stage, and mind you, this is a big investment because they're $50 each or something just for one plane. So yeah, if you want to see me fly a DCS jet, let me know, or the F-18 for that matter. But yeah, be interested to know what you guys think. Another thing about DCS, there's the Normandy assets pack, and I was looking at some kind of a flight sim website the other day that sort of collates news on flight sim developments, and sort of like a flight sim industry website or something. The name of it escapes me. I'll try and find it and link it in the video here. But they had some screenshots of a Ju-88 and a C-47 or a DC-3 that are being developed for the Normandy assets pack, which is pretty exciting to me because they looked extremely highly realistic, like you're looking at something in real life. Particularly the picture I saw of the Ju-88, I was blown away by the realism of it. And that leads to my next question is, when is it available? Is it actually going to be available? Or is it just an idea? And because I own the Normandy assets pack, I wonder, does it just get included as an update, or do I have to go and buy it? Many questions on that Ju-88. Yeah, as I say, all I saw was a screenshot of it, but it looked very exciting. Sometimes I play Ironfront in Arma4, and there is talk of Arma4. So if Arma4 gets released, that might be pretty good. Just throw that into the vid there. Yeah, so again, with DCS jets, I'd like to see DCS. I'd like to see a plane that I could buy for DCS of the Messerschmitt ME1101 or the Focke-Wulf TA-183 to fly those in DCS would be fantastisch. Fantastico. I have a new website which I'd like to make you guys aware of. It's froggyfrog9000.com, froggyfrog9000.com. There you will find my videos, things that I'm interested in, and some merch, some t-shirts and things like that. Please have a look at my website, froggyfrog9000.com. Coming at you. Yeah, I'd like to request everyone to become a patron of Froggy Frog 9000, myself and the channel. I now have 3 patrons on Patreon, and it's very exciting and motivational. Even if someone's donating $3 a month, it's a huge motivating factor, which gives me energy to go faster, higher, stronger, and produce more content for the channel and for you guys, the viewers. So let's now talk about. So what do you think of this here jet? It's pretty cool, isn't it? So let's now. It's one of those great what ifs of World War II. If this jet had have been implemented in sufficient number, like say they had 5,000 of them, and they had the fuel to run them, how would that have changed things? That is one of the great what ifs, in my opinion. Alright, so let's now have a look at the Battle of Bodenplatte. I've been looking at the IL-2 website, the developer diary there, and the forum there, and I've been following the forum comments with great interest. There's a lively forum discussion there, and so looking at the screen now, here's Google Earth, and this is approximately, this is fairly accurately the area that the Bodenplatte map is going to occupy. And it's people on the forum, the majority, if you can conclude something from the comments there, one of the main things there is that the map is huge. People are commenting that the map is huge. I don't know European geography that well, but yeah, everyone is commenting really that the map is huge, and so much so. Someone's actually written something about the surface area that's covered in the new map and comparing it to the old maps. Stalingrad map surface area, Moscow surface area, and Kuban surface area, and they've written here Stalingrad map 82,800 square kilometers, Moscow map 70,000 square kilometers, Kuban map 120,640 square kilometers, Bodenplatte flyable area is 129,900 square kilometers. So it looks like the Bodenplatte map is about the same size as the Kuban map, only even bigger. So the other point there is that the Kuban map, so it's going to be about the same size as the Kuban map, but the Kuban map is half sea, half ocean, whereas the Bodenplatte map is covering a lot of Western Europe. There's a lot of cities there, a lot of built-up areas. Another point people are making in the commentaries there is, how is the Ruhr area going to be modelled? What level of detail? So many people are saying in the commentaries, people that live on the continent of Europe, great, now I can fly over my house and bomb my house, as it was back in 1945 or 44. That's another thing. The Bodenplatte campaign is not just 1 or 2 days. It goes for a long period of time. It goes from at some point in 1944 right through to 1945. So that's also a pretty exciting development. So it's a big map. It's a big time frame. Can the developers do it? Can they pull it off? I sincerely hope so. I've got all my fingers crossed and I've got all my toes crossed I really want to see this come to fruition so badly. It'd be the best thing ever. And I think I'm not alone in that sentiment. There's people wondering about Arnhem and Operation Market Garden and things like that, whether the C-47 will be available, whether there'll be gliders. And in terms of the release date for Bodenplatte, like for the when are we going to get our first? When are we going to get our hands on the game? And there's a comment here from the producer Jason Williams, and I'll just read it here. So someone said, "Nice, but when will the early access testing begin? You guys saying in Development Blog 191 that it will come out in May." And Jason Williams, the producer, replies, "The first two Bodenplatte planes are ready for testing, Spit 9 and 109G14. They go into beta this weekend. We're a couple of weeks behind schedule, which is not too bad." Jason, wowee. So soon enough, once the beta testing's done on the Spitfire Mark 9 and the BF 109 G14, then it sounds like we'll get to fly them. I doubt that we'll get to fly them in the Bodenplatte map. It sounds like that's going to take some huge development yet, but probably, I'm just guessing here, but probably the Spit 9 and the 109 G14 at some point in due course are going to become available for flying in all the existing maps. Battle of Moscow, Kuban and Stalingrad. They're going into beta testing. They've gone into beta testing this weekend. How long does beta testing take? I reckon maybe 3 weeks or something, and we'll get our hands on the Spitfire or the 109 G14. That's my guess there. I reckon in another 3 weeks we'll probably have access to one of those planes, and then at some point after that the other one, or maybe both of them at the same time. I think they'll release them once they're happy with them, so could be a lot longer than that, but I reckon it's just a matter of weeks now before we see something available, and that'll be tremendously exciting. The Spitfire Mark 9, one of the versions of it has clipped wings. The 109 G14, I don't know what that constitutes of. I imagine it's got souped up engine and armament and handling and so on. That'll be really exciting. Flying the G6 is fun enough, and then flying the G14 will be even better. Just looking again at that Google Earth map of the area, I'm just going to read out some names of the cities and places that are in that map. North Holland, Amsterdam. Oh, and by the way, there was a huge sort of running sub-thread in that forum about whether Holland is called Holland or whether it's called the Netherlands, and yeah, I don't actually know, is Holland called Holland or is it called the Netherlands? Anyways, that's a side thing. North Holland, Amsterdam, South Holland, Netherlands, Beelsveld, Paderborn, that rings a bell from Wolfenstein, Munster, Dortmund, North Rhine-Westphalia, Frankfurt down in the southeast of this map, Cologne, Dusseldorf. These are huge cities, I think. So how are they going to do it? How are they going to model Cologne, Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, etc., etc. Antwerp, how are they going to model Antwerp, Flanders, Bruges, all the places in Belgium, Brussels? So there's some big cities there. There's probably I don't know, 10 or 20 big cities in this map. How are you going to model 10 or 20 big cities authentic to the mid-1940s period during wartime? They got their work cut out for them. Do I think they can do it? Yes, I do. But it is a huge project. Can't wait. Just can't wait. It'll be the best flight sim in the world ever once it's come out. Can you imagine flying cross-country across Europe in a ME-262? Can't wait. It'll be just so good. And as mentioned earlier, I now have a website, froggyfrog9000.com. Please take the time to go and have a look at the website. It's basically some merch there and some videos from my YouTube. I've always been interested in t-shirts, and I remember years ago when I was a teenager trying to build a HTML website called T-shirt something or other, and it was going to be a t-shirt website. Anyways, I finally have a way of making and offering t-shirts, and here they are. And a lot of them are, in fact all of them are aviation related in some way. Here's a test pilot flying an ME-163 Comet, and it looks like he's wearing a GoPro. And he's sitting in an ME-163 Comet about to take off on a test flight there. You can get that t-shirt for yourself in pretty much any colour that you like, and it's, what is it, 15 or 16 bucks, and it's through Amazon, so you know it's pretty good quality. And I've also got my UFO t-shirts there because I'm quite interested in the whole post-1946 UFO type thing. The Honeyboo, the Flying Bell, the 1946 jet prototypes and models. So yeah, that's my website in a nutshell, and you can also access my Patreon link from my website, froggyfrog9000.com, and you can become a patron of the channel. That basically means making a monthly recurring donation to the channel. Anything like that really does help a great deal, even if it's only $1. Throw us a few dollars for a cup of coffee now and then. It's a big motivator. That's pretty much it for this edition of Sundays with Froggy Frog 9000, otherwise known as Frog Radio. We'll just finish up with some footage of the 262 strafing B-17s with those quad 30mm Mark 108 cannon in the nose. I took out 117 there, and look how Deacon poses. That's pretty sophisticated for an ancient game like this. I see, look at the water. When I look at the water, I see cliffs of Dover. This is the completely unmodded version of IL-2 Sturmovik Forgotten Battles 1946, completely unmodded. And if I have the time next week, I'll look at getting into the SAS mod and all of that. Many of you have mentioned to me that I should get into that. I just, as I say, I haven't got around to it. That's the R4M rockets they're taking out of 17 because of time constraints mostly, and because the graphics aren't that great. But actually, I mean, look at them. Every bit as good as modern flight sims in many ways, at least at a glance. This 262 here certainly is lacking nothing. Anyways, that's Frog Radio for this Sunday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends and family, and tune in next Sunday for the next edition of Sundays with Froggy Frog 9000. Thanks for watching. Oh, and visit froggyfrog9000.com.